Alright, I want to explain to you guys why we do this system. I'm not normally big on air intake mods, but just give you an explanation of this. And the engine is nothing more than an air pump. This particular engine, I'm trying to remember, if it was working at 100% efficiency, it could only pump about 90 CFM, if I remember off the top of my head. There's an aftermarket company, or maybe two, out there trying to sell you an air intake that swear it'll flow twice as much as stock. Well, big deal. If you can only pump 90, but you can flow 180, what difference does it make? You can have 3,000 CFM available, but if you can't pump at 90, that's all you're going to use. So the stock airbox, in my opinion, is fine. Adding these two TPI valves give us that extra flow we need. Now, you can't just go drill some holes in the airbox lid and put bigger jets in and think everything's going to work fine. It doesn't work like that. Now, the reason being is these slides are vacuum operated. So the Kawasaki engineers, and of course my testing proves that there's a slight amount of vacuum in the airbox. It's slightly more than atmospheric pressure. So if you mess that up, then the slides vacuum can't suck them up. They can't open up the two slides. They'll sit down here instead of opening up. So the guys that take the airbox lids off and they don't run right, that's because the slides are still closed. Their foot may be on the floor, but there's not enough vacuum to open them up. Well, maybe the engine builds up vacuum and opens them up, but then they do what I call, they oscillate. And I can show you that on a dyno. Alright, so to combat all these problems and all of us to get a little fix on performance, this is a three-part system here. Okay, number one, yes, we know we want more air. Two, we got to have more fuel to do it. But how do we get the slides to operate? Well, it's real simple. You got to figure out what spring to go in the diaphragms so that you got a weaker vacuum signal here, and so you don't have as much vacuum to lift and those slides up. So you have to have a weaker spring on top so the slides will go up and stay out of the way and not oscillate on you. Okay, so we get more air, we got our slides operating correctly, but hey, now we're running very lean. Okay, now we get bigger jets. That means more fuel, more air, which means more power. And that's how this system works. This particular system really shows out between 15 and 25 miles an hour. It's got a pretty good throttle response. So, you know, don't get fooled into thinking an airbox from somebody else and a jet change is going to be the answer. That's not true. One of the reasons you have to go with the bigger jets is simply this. When you take these airbox lids off for its free-flowing air intake, you don't have that vacuum, and not only can your slides don't get sucked up out of the way, but now your engine can't suck the fuel through the main jet. Well, people in the know that fluid flows through a larger orifice easier, so we have to put a bigger jet to get the exact same amount of fuel we